Hi there everybody, this is Lunar of Lunar Witch Stitchery. I hope that you're all doing well today. I apologize for the amount of time that has elapsed between this video and my previous one. I really didn't intend for there to be that many weeks with no uploading. We'll kind of go into that in just a second here. But yeah, if you're new to my channel, I typically start out with a little bit of like a catch-up, life update kind of thing, just because it gives some context for like the rest of my Flosstube stuff. So if you don't want to listen to that, you can go ahead and skip ahead. I will leave times down in the video bar, so you can just click ahead. I do have quite a lot to talk about today, so I will try to keep it brief in this section. So again, hello everybody. I hope that the start of your 2023 has been at least decent, hopefully good. Mine's been okay. One of the bigger things that was going on that I didn't mention in my last video was my fiance was actually on a trip for 2 weeks. He was in Japan. His family actually has family in Japan, so he went with like his parents, his siblings, everybody. They all went. I was invited. I actually chose not to go. There's a lot of reasons why. I just chose not to. It's honestly mostly because of my cat. He has separation anxiety, and he also has just like a lot of health stuff going on, and I didn't really feel comfortable leaving him for that long, even if we had a pet sitter or whatever come in. So that was fine though. Ruben really enjoyed himself though. He was gone from like the very end of December through like the 9th or something of January, maybe the 10th. In my previous video, he actually was gone during that time, but I wasn't really comfortable putting it out to the internet that I was going to be alone for 2 weeks, so we chose not to tell anybody that he was going to be gone until after he was back. So he is back now. But yeah, he had a very good time, got to eat lots of good food. But that was really stressful for me. He and I started seeing each other at the like middle to end of 2019. And then like COVID happened and stuff. So we have certainly spent a lot of time together, and I think that's the longest that we've been apart for a very long time. So it was kind of difficult for me to deal with, but like I said, he is back now. So yeah, my mental health has not been in the greatest place lately, unfortunately. So during the beginning of January, I did actually take a little bit of a break from stitching. That's partly why I didn't upload. I just didn't really have much to share, and then also I just wasn't really feeling up to being on camera. I'm barely feeling up to being on camera today, but I have so much stuff to go over with you guys. And I just like really wanted to get this video out. I was hoping that I would feel better once I got into the swing of things. So, yes, anyway, so, most of the stuff that I'm going to be showing you guys, I did within the span of like, I don't know, the past week and a half or so. Today when I'm filming is, Saturday the 21st. So of January. So, yeah, related to my mental health, I have been struggling a lot with my anxiety lately. There's a lot of reasons for it. And, I think it's really been since like June or July last year that I've felt completely ruled by my anxiety. And that's not really something that I've ever felt before. So it took a lot of like figuring out, I guess, but we've finally started to implement some new stuff that will hopefully help. One of the medications I'm on is actually a stimulant, and I was on the highest dose possible. It's an antidepressant. So I did need to take it for my depression, but unfortunately, because of the nature of the medication, it was making my anxiety absolutely unbearable. So my doctor and I decided to lower the dose of that, so that has been a lot better. I have been really exhausted, honestly, which sucks, but I have not been having like a full fight or flight reaction to every single sound that I hear in the house, which is really awesome. So I would rather be a little bit tired than being constantly feeling like I'm about to die like I was before. So yeah, that's something. And one of the more major stressors in my life has been my upstairs neighbors, which to some people might be really stupid. They honestly aren't even that loud. Like Ruben's previous neighbors were literally the worst possible neighbors you could ever imagine. So our bar is set very low, but anyway, with how bad my anxiety has been, just the sounds and noises and stuff of our neighbors existing above us has been so much. One of the rooms that they hang out in often is right above my bedroom, which makes it really difficult for me to sleep at night. I'm a really light sleeper, and everything in the world wakes me up, so the guy that lives up there has a very deep voice that carries a lot, so I can hear him pretty faintly when he's talking loud, and I think for most people it would be something that they're able to like ignore. But because my anxiety has been so out of control, it is just like driving me insane. So we have a whole bunch of different things that we've been trying. I bought some loop earplugs recently, which I absolutely love. They've been really helpful. But the problem with them is that if I am really anxious, the earplugs make it so that I can hear my heart rate or my own heartbeat like really loud in my ears, which just makes me panic more. So they're only helpful if I am already calm, which often is not the case. So we also got some acoustic panels for my ceiling, and those helped somewhat, but still not as much as I was hoping. So the other night I got the idea to build like a canopy for my bed out of noise canceling curtains, and I'll be putting some extra acoustic foam on top as well. It's literally like right here. My room is really tiny, so but yes, we did build it. We ended up doing it out of PVC pipe because I didn't want to do like a whole new bed frame. I really like my bed frame, so we just built a canopy frame out of 1-inch PVC pipe. We got a bunch of curtains that go all the way around, and then I'm going to be building like a roof thing. So we also got like some really cute lights to go inside of it, so we're trying to make it like a little zone for me to go so that I can feel a little bit more safe, and it can be hopefully really quiet in there. That would be really cool. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to recently. I'm feeling really hopeful actually. So yeah, I think once I get the top of the canopy put on, it is going to be super helpful. But yeah, that's what I've been up to. I believe that's all for my personal update. So on to my massive whip update. This is going to be the bulk of the video. I have a ridiculous, well, maybe not ridiculous, but for me on this channel, I think this is the most projects that I've ever had to share at one time, aside from my whip parades. So yes, let's get on with it. I have these written on my little notes thing in like chronological order for when I worked on them. So let's get into it. In my last video, I mentioned that I had a friend who had contacted me about a commission. So I used to make these little Pokemon Sprite cross-stitch magnets. I actually used to sell them at like anime conventions, and I used to do like custom commissions all the time. I've kind of just like stopped doing that recently. There's no particular reason. But I haven't done one in probably like 4 years at least. But yeah, the girl that she was doing this Secret Santa gift thing for, her favorite Pokemon are kind of weird. I had somebody ask on my last video what they were, so in case anybody else is wondering, I was commissioned to do Serena and Alolan Muck, which again, really weird choices for favorite Pokemon. But yeah, go off. So I got working on those at the end of December. I ended up starting with a Alolan Muck, and I charted it in an application on my computer. But I was like, I can choose my own colors for this. Like, I have this huge stash of off-brand floss that's not numbered, but I feel pretty confident that I can pick the right colors. Oh my god. I hated how it came out. I don't think I have any pictures of it, but I got about halfway through stitching it and I was just like, this is not it. I really don't like how this is looking. It's not right. So I ended up scrapping it, and I kind of let it sit for a few days to like ruminate on it, because the thing was, I didn't have most of the colors that this Alolan Muck pattern called for. And I was like, do I really want to go out and buy like 12 skeins of floss for this one tiny commission? Or like, what do I want to do? I did end up going out and buying the floss for it. It's fine. I didn't really take the commission to like make a bunch of money off of it or anything. I do not charge a lot of money for them at all. So, anyway, basically I restitched Alolan Muck from scratch, using the called for colors that my program gave me, and I was a lot happier with how it came out. I don't think it's like perfect, but it did come out pretty good. And then Serena, I actually have a set of patterns of Pokemon Generations 1 through 5, or sorry, 1 through 7, oh my god, by Boris Designing on Etsy. And I just went to the Gen 7 one and pulled the Serena sprite off of that. Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the Alolan Muck was not part of that pattern because Muck is technically a Generation 1 Pokemon that got like a new form in Generation 7. If you don't know anything about Pokemon, I'm so sorry. But basically, I did not have a pattern for that one, so I had to chart it myself. There is cat hair flying. Whereas the other one I did happen to have a pattern for already. So I will be sure to put in finished pictures of them. These were stitched with 3 strands on 14 count plastic grid stuff. Yes, and then how I finish them, I actually make sure to knot all my threads. Usually I just tuck my tails in, but on this plastic canvas it's super easy for the tails to just slip right out. So I do knot my thread both at the start and to the end. And then when I'm finished, I actually go through with a school glue stick, not like the liquid glue, like an actual glue stick. And I make sure that the whole thing is covered. I stick all of the tails and ends and knots down. And then once that's dry, I go ahead and hot glue a magnet onto the back. This is all after cutting it out of the grid mesh as well. And that's it. Then it's a magnet. I've seen some folks turn these kind of things into earrings too. I've never done that before, but it sounds kind of cool. So I might do that one day. But yes, those went off to our mutual friend. The mutual friend who they were for actually messaged me the other day and was telling me how much she loved them. So that made me super happy. But yeah, so those were my main focus at the beginning of January because I needed to have them done by a certain date. I just want to mention how much I hate the off-brand floss that I have. I didn't think that there would be that big of a difference between like this off-brand floss and DMC. I knew that like in terms of color fastness or whatever, they might bleed more if I were to wash them. But they knot so badly. I hated stitching with them. I don't think I can use any of that floss, which if you have seen like one of my early Flosstubes where I was showing my stash, I have like an excessive amount of this floss. I bought it for a really cheap price off of this gal that I used to work with. And I genuinely don't know that I can use any of it. I just hate it. I hate it so much. Oh my god. I used to do like friendship bracelets, like really complicated ones, so I might use it for that if I ever get back into it. But I don't think I'm going to be cross stitching with it ever again. I think it's awful. So off of that tangent, the next project we will be talking about is my Dark Queen of the Earth stitch along. This gal is in like every single one of my videos. I'm really sorry if I'm like off center. I'm like trying to figure out how to film with my canopy bed in here, so yeah, anyway. Here is a quick picture of where she was at the last time you guys saw her. And then this is where she is at now. So this is a finish for now in FFN. This section, oh my goodness, this section over here of background and frame was part 5, and I did finish that, obviously. So yeah, I did quite a bit of it in one sitting again. That's kind of what happened last time too. I get like vaguely close to finishing it and my brain is like, oh my god, we should just sit here and finish this. So she has been done for a couple days now. Like I said, I took kind of a break from stitching in the beginning of the month, so I didn't finish her as early on as I had hoped, but this drop was about 1,000 stitches smaller than the last couple months, so I got it done pretty quickly actually. Yeah, that is being stitched 2/2 on 32 count linen in Nightshade from Under the Sea Fabrics. So yes, I am super excited for part 6, which will be coming in February. I am very sure that we're going to be moving up the queen at this point, so I think we're going to be getting to her torso and hopefully like her face and stuff. I've been dying to know what she looks like this whole time, so yes, I'm very excited for that, and I'm sure everybody else in this SAL is excited too. So like I was saying in my life update section, I have been having a lot of mental health issues this month, and towards the beginning of the year, I was just like, I feel like shit, I don't want to stitch on anything. What can I do to like make myself motivated to do anything? So I ended up actually doing a new start, which I hadn't planned on doing at all, but it is what it is. It's fine. This is Kitsune. The original art is by Scandi Girl, and the chart is done by Gecko Rouge. You should be seeing what it looks like, what it will look like in the end. I got this pattern on pre-order last year, and it's been sitting in my stash for a few months. My original plan was to stitch it after I finish my current fox piece. However, my current fox piece is kind of like on hiatus or on pause at the moment. I don't have that much left to go on it, but I just like can't stitch on it right now. So anyway, like I said, this was a new start. You're not going to really be able to tell very much. This is what I did from here over. This is being stitched 1/1 on 28 count even weave. And this piece starts with an awful lot of white background. So I just did one row of it. I was going to go all the way across, and then I was like, I'm done with this. So I got like about halfway. So that kind of gives you an idea of like how big the finished piece will be. If this is half of it, it'll be like a little bit wider than my 11-inch Q-snap. So not too bad. Yeah, I am really enjoying doing one strand of full cross on this. I think it's really nice looking. So that might be what I do for full coverage going forward. I'm not sure. Typically, well, not typically, but like the 2 full coverage pieces that I have right now are being done 2-stranded half stitch or tent stitch. But yeah, I really like how the full cross is looking. That's really all I have to say about this piece. I don't have like a lot of thoughts on it. I'm just doing white at the moment, and I only worked on it one time. I guess I can grab like a stitch count really quick while we're at it. That is 128 stitches. which is 0.11%. So honestly, could be worse. I'm just like yawning and sneezing. I don't know what is going on with me. Okay, next up is a piece that we have not seen progress on in quite a bit. This is my Noah's Ark Precious Moments pattern. If you haven't seen this piece before, the short version is this is a piece that my mom started back in like 1997 when I was a literal fetus. And it was supposed to be for me. She never finished it, so I'm finishing it for her. She did all of the full cross on this, and I am doing backstitch. So this is a picture of what it looked like the last time I showed it to you guys. And then this is what I did this time. I believe I just did the lambs and some of the rail, if I'm not mistaken. I think next I'm going to do the elephants, and then there's like some mice on their heads, I guess. Oh, I'm caught. I'll talk about this later too, but I just like got in a super huge mood for backstitching the other day. So, I busted this out to get some good work in on it, and I did quite a bit. I think I sat down for a couple hours on this, which is really good. So yes, I do have a goal of finishing this year. I would love to have it done by the middle of March, which is my mom's birthday. But I will have to actually work on it in order for that to happen. And I still have quite a bit to go. There's like a bunch of lines that go through the actual arc too. I would say I am probably close to 30% done with the backstitching on this. There is an awful lot of it. So yeah, that's about all I have for this guy. Yes. If you're curious, I'm not really sure what count this fabric is. It's either 16 or 18, and the full cross is done in 2 strands, and then the back stitch is being done in 1. Like I just said, I was having an itch for backstitch, so I think it was the day after I worked on that arc, I decided to pull out an ancient piece that has not been worked on in millennia. This is my That Which Does Not Kill Us Stitch Along by the Urban Stitches. This sal is long complete. I believe it finished in July or August of last year, 2022. So I am a bit behind. I spent some time the other night printing out all of the rest of the drops that I hadn't printed yet. This is a black work sal, which means it is only backstitch. So it's not something that I can upload into Pattern Keeper. So I do have it, I'm looking over at my binder, I do have it all printed. So yeah, here's a quick picture of where it was at last time you guys saw it, which would have been in one of my whip parades. I believe the last time I actually worked on it was last summer. And then this is what I did the other night. This was all done in one sitting. I am so... Well, first of all, I love it. But second of all, I'm so, like, shocked by how much detail and how complicated these little foxglove flowers are. Foxglove is one of my favorite toxic plants. I think it's so cool looking. I love it. And I guess I just really didn't notice, like, how many lines are in this little guy. This little plant took about 1.5 lengths of floss. Which is an awful lot for one, like, you see how many more I have to do. So, yeah, but I was really enjoying it. Some info on this piece. This is being done, 1 strand backstitch on 14 count coffee dyed Aida, which I dyed myself. And I'm actually doing a conversion, a color conversion for this. So when you buy the sal, you get 2 colorways. I can't remember what they're called. But the Urban Stitches actually released a 3rd colorway on their Instagram, I believe. It's supposed to be a bit of a darker, more like moody kind of color palette. And I liked it more than the other 2, so that is the one I'm doing. If you're doing the sal and you have questions about that, I do have the colors written down somewhere. So... But yeah, super happy with this. I think it looks so, so cool. It made me really excited to like keep working on this piece. So I might be picking this up again fairly soon. The last piece I have to show you guys is my favorite. This is Princess Serenity. The original art is by Hannah Alexander and the chart is by Make It Pink. Here's a picture of where she was last time, and here is where she is at now. I really just worked in this area up here. If you can see, there are tons and tons of little holes and fractional stitches because there's about 5 million beads in this piece. This is 9.19%, so that's pretty awesome. I'm very happy about that. This white part is like kind of where her hips are. It'll keep going over a ways. I'm actually thinking about moving my Q-snap over. I was also considering doing backstitch on this, but to get my backstitch fix, I have so many other pieces that need to be worked on that are old. So I think I am going to go ahead and move the Q-snap over so that this is more in the center. And then I can just work all the way across because there's a lot more white to go. I just stopped at the point where it's getting too difficult to stitch with how my fabric is rolled up. But yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah, I also put in like the tiniest, I think it was like, I can't really see, 2 stitches of Krynic on her finger. It's supposed to be a ring. It'll look more like that once the back stitching is in. And I just wanted to say, I think that Krynic braid sucks. I have literally done 2 stitches in Krynic braid ever. This is color 102C number 4 braid, if you're wondering. I hate it. It feels so bad. It is a bitch to thread into my needle. I don't use a needle threader. I am just not at a place where I need to do that normally. So I literally don't have a needle threader, so you can imagine my struggle trying to jam this like fraying braid through my size 26 tapestry needle. And I don't know, it just like did not lay how I wanted it to lay. It felt awful pulling through the 36. Oh yeah, I forgot to say, this is 36 count linen in the color Aphrodite from Under the Sea Fabrics. Felt awful pulling through that linen. I hated it. Yeah, so I think there's only like 26 stitches of this color on this piece, and then there is one other Krynic braid, and I did purchase both of them already, so I will use them for this piece. But in the future, I'm definitely going to be looking at petite treasure braid conversions for these pieces. I know that like, I think Krynic has a lot more colors. There's so much cat hair. Krynic has more colors than Rainbow Gallery does, but I'm just like desperate to not use Krynic braid. It's awful. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Oh my god. I hate it so much. And again, this was like, I did 1 full stitch and 4 quarter stitches. Like, bro. The fact that it made me so mad in such a short amount of time. Oh my god. So that is finally all of my whips. I have a couple other things to talk about. Purchases. I mentioned in my last video that I had bought a bead storage thing, and that did arrive. I didn't realize, but I actually accidentally bought a 2-pack. So I have 2 of these now. But this is the one that I have. I actually found this from Rachel Ray. She uses these for her diamond painting diamonds. But I was like, actually that seems baller to use for its actual original purpose, which was beads. So let's get something out here for you. So there's all these individual little containers. They have a little thing on the side and they pop open really nicely. And then they come with labels to mark like what they are. So this is Mill Hill 18011, and I said that this is for Princess Serenity. That's just for my own reference, so I know like why I have these beads. Um, so I went ahead and sorted all of the beads for the projects that I have at the moment. So this is for the Dark Queen of the Earth, Odile, and Serenity. So that's what I have in here right now. I do have more cat hair. I do have a lot of Make It Pink patterns that I need to buy beads for. When I say a lot, I mean like 16. So that's why I ended up getting this larger bead storage thing. My last one was almost full with all of this stuff. I do have like these for Serenity. This container is like almost completely full. I think this was like 3 or 4 packs of this bead. This is 00479 Millhill. And then I have like the smaller version of this color, the like super tiny boys. And this is like 5 packs in here. So I'm really impressed by how much these can hold. I thought I might have to split some of those into 2, but I didn't have to. So that was really, really cool. Love that. Yes. That's literally all I have. Again, if you guys didn't know, I'm trying to do a no spend this year. So I have not purchased anything else for cross stitch or any of my hobbies for that matter. Yeah, we did buy quite a bit of stuff in Japan, but that is completely unrelated to my like no spend and everything. Okay, and then for plans, like I mentioned, of course, I'm going to be stitching part 6 of the Dark Queen when she comes out on February 1st. I am very dedicated to keeping up with this stitch along, so I will be doing that, and that will be my first priority as usual. I can't believe that we are about halfway through that sal already. I feel like we just started it and now we're like about 15,000 stitches in, which is just like so wild to me. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah, like I also mentioned, I have just been having this like urge to do backstitching. I'm not sure why. If you guys don't know, I'm super weird and I really, really like backstitching. I know for some folks it's really challenging for them and they don't like it and they think it's annoying and all that stuff. I think it's super fun, and I find it really satisfying and relaxing. So yeah, I really like it. I have a lot of projects that call for a lot of backstitching. That's why I'm doing a black work sal. So with that, I will hopefully be making some more progress on my That Which Does Not Kill Us sal and my Noah's Ark piece. I am really trying to resist doing backstitching on my Make It Pink patterns because I just think I would rather do that all at the end. I just don't want anything to happen to the backstitching while I'm like wrestling with these pieces for many, many hours. So I think I'm just going to leave those and spend my backstitching energy on some older pieces that really need to see a finish. And kind of in that same vein, I've just been having this urge to work on some of my older whips. Princess Serenity, she's my newest whip, well, besides the Kitsune full coverage. But I only worked on her once in the past couple weeks, which I started her at the beginning of November, and I've been working on her like mad since then. So it's kind of weird that I only picked her up one time, but yeah, I'm hoping that I can, again, put energy into that black work sal. I'm also hoping to pull out my fox at some point. I would like to finish that still. It's kind of in jail. Like I said, right now I'm kind of still mad at it, but maybe I will do that. It is technically the 24 hours of cross stitch weekend this weekend, so maybe I can set some time aside for that. That's all I have for you guys. I'm trying to hurry because my camera is about to overheat. It's like dying, overheating, all the things. So yeah, I really appreciate all of you being here once again, and I will talk to you hopefully in about 2 weeks. Bye!